Hello and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be looking at another two races from Daily Race B at Suzuka in the Group 4 cars. So here we go, straight on to the first one. As you can see in this one, tougher lobby, starting down in 12th. Lots of A drivers, A plus drivers and even an S driver on pole position, so very tough lobby, but we're trying to move our DR up to A as well, so being in a tough lobby like this means there's a lot of points available for moving up in DR, which is good news. So, but advice to anyone starting back in 12th at this race, you might want to use traction control, because as you see here, it's probably the worst place you could start, starting right before the chicane, and I've had to really feather the throttle through there, and we've lost a lot of ground on the car in front. So coming across the line now, and as you can see, we're 1.4 seconds behind the car in front already, and the car behind's only 0.6 behind us, so it's not the greatest place to start that, because you lose ground straight away, but hopefully we can catch up on them, and that's the aim for this race. As I said, any up positions in this race will be an achievement with the tough lobby, so we start getting through the S sections, try and get closed up to the car in front, get back on that group in front. So nice and smooth through there. They're trying to get a good exit from this corner, which I did struggle at, take a bit too much to the inside, so not the greatest exit unfortunately. But we'll be hoping to gain on those cars in front and drop the car behind. So on the run down to the hairpin here, going to want a good hairpin, because your car behind still going to be in the slipstream by the looks of it, and the car ahead would need to gain up with, because if we're not in the slipstream and the car behind's in the slipstream, we're going to be real vulnerable on the main straight. But as you can see, they're very poor hairpin really there. So cars in front have dropped us, so we're going to be looking more at possibly defending down this main straight rather than attacking. So see whether he can gain on us or not. So looking to get a good exit, to get a good run down the main straight. Take a little bit too much curb really, so not the greatest, but not the worst exit. As you can see in the mirror there, that car behind's really challenging on us, and he's already pulled out the slipstream. So he's starting to come alongside, so push him right to the edge of the circuit so we can get as much turning as possible, give each other space. And I hold that position in 130R, very hard to go around the outside there. So you're always better to take the inside line. So try and get a good run through, because again he can attack us down into this first corner again. So we're going to want to stick it to the inside at some point possibly if he's gaining on us. And yeah, there we go, pull right to the inside, block him off from using the inside, and just brake a little too late, go wide, and he gets us on the inside. Superb overtake there from GT Proman, great overtake. So now it's on to us to try and repass him, so I'm going to stay right on the back of him through this S section if we can. Just have a look back at the replay of this overtaking move from GT Proman here. As you can see from my point of view, defend the inside, move back to the outside when he's took the outside line, brake just a little bit too late to block the apex, and he switches it back and clips that apex perfectly and takes that position. So we'll just have a look from his point of view, and as you can see here, looks more aggressive for me, aggressively defend that inside line there, force him to the outside. And as you can see, just brakes a little bit early so that he can get the turn in, and nails the apex perfectly, and then parks it on the second apex to stop me repassing him. So worthy of the cinematic view I think here, as you see, coming along, defend that inside line, force him to the outside. See there, just clever braking, brakes early and gets that inside line off me, cut back. So superb move there from GT Proman, very clean racing as well. So let's get back to the race here. As you can see, right up behind him, so I'm going to be having to look for a mistake or an overtaking manoeuvre like that on him. So the cars in front of us have dropped us a little bit, so we might have a battle on here. So he looks coming into this fast bend, he gets a better run, takes more curve, but he gets more curve on the outside, and so it just affects his braking there and makes him run wide on the exit, and he gifts us that position back after a superb overtake. So we're going to have to watch out for him because we know he can pass us. So much better into the hairpin this time, and we get away, but you can see in the mirrors he's run wide at the hairpin as well, maybe dirty tyres, so we've pulled away. So now we're going to want to be chasing down the group in front, hopefully. So just skip ahead to lap 3 here. As you can see, we're starting to gain on the cars in front as they're battling away. As you can see there, one of them's been forced wide off the track, so we've got the run, so we're right on the back of this group now. So I'm expecting him to defend the inside of the hairpin, so I go to the inside of this little kink, and he just starts to pull across. So I try to jink back to the inside out the way, but unfortunately I end up giving him a tap, totally accidental. So here we go, we'll look at what happened from his point of view first. So that Frenchman there, very poor move from that Frenchman there, just pushes him out the way. See from the Frenchman's point of view, yeah, he's miles back, no move is on at all, just deliberately forces him out the way. But I wonder if something's happened because he's had half a second penalty. I didn't notice anything, but as we move on to my point of view here, said I'm going for that inside, and I just see him closing the door, and I'm going a lot quicker than him, so I tried to switch back to the other side as he closes the door. But I think as you see from his point of view here, I think he does notice and he starts to pull back towards the left, but I've committed to go to the left. So my fault, I'm the car behind, my responsibility, but because he's going slower, he should try and stay off the racing lines, pick a side and stay to it maybe. But it is my fault, I hold my hands up and I apologise to him if he's watching. And had he not totally spun off like that, I would have probably given him the position back if he was right behind me. But I'm expecting to get a penalty, and strangely I don't, which shows the penalty system problems now. Like, you know, total mistake that, but deserves a penalty. It's an accident, but probably expected to get a penalty. Yeah, I don't. Yet other times get penalties for absolutely nothing when you've done nothing wrong. So then we'll see what we can do here. So said if that Spanish fella is watching, and apologise, I did not mean to hit you off. I was actually thought you were closing the door on me and was trying to avoid contact. So, but I'll hold my hands up, that was my fault. But now we're going to see if we can hold on to this 11th place now from the car behind. So, but to be perfectly honest, had the Frenchman not hit him off in the first place, I wouldn't have been there to be involved in that incident. Not that that's an excuse, but I think mine is an accident. The French guy's move looks a bit naughty in my opinion, to be honest. But you can see there, finished 11th. I would like to apologise once more to that Jamie Fax though. So total accident that I hit you, so if you are watching I do apologise. But as you can see, the gods of GT Sport, according to them, clean race. So don't know what's happening at the moment. Clean race for that, but you get SR downs for next to nothing. So we'll move on to the next race anyway. So this race here, this was an all B rated lobby, and I didn't actually record it. This is just the replay, so I thought I'd show it in the more cinematic camera. But the reason I wanted to show this race is that Spanish guy in front, Jose, had a go at me in the chat afterwards, and I'd wonder your guys' opinion. I don't think I do anything wrong in this race at all, and if anything, I think his move on me is more aggressive, more naughty than my move on him. But I don't think there was anything overly naughty. I passed him twice, and the second time I was quite aggressive with my overtake, but that was because he had repassed me with an even more aggressive overtake, pushing me wide. So said we'll watch it through. Just thought it'd make a nice change watching in this more cinematic race camera rather than on board. So as you can see early on here, us three at the front have started to pull away a little bit from those cars behind. So you see, creating a bit of a gap, and those guys behind have got a penalty as well, so that gap's only going to get bigger. So coming into the hairpin, sticking right behind them, trying to get a good run on them here. So it looks like it's going to be a race between the three of us at the front. And I think our qualifying times were all within 3/10 separated the three of us. So all very closely matched when it comes to qualifying. But as you can see there, he runs wide. So I take that inside line where he's run wide and get past him. I think there's a slight bit of contact, but not much. So I've got the run down. So as you can see here from my point of view, you see there, looks like he touches the grass, just runs a bit wide. I get the apex, get on the inside of him for the second corner. Mild bit of contact there as he turns in a bit, but I think I'm right on the apex. I'm already committed to the move because of his mistakes, so nothing in that. So let's look from his point of view. As you see here, just on the right, just touches the grass, does well to save it really and not fully go off. But that allows me to run on the inside, just a slight touch there as he pulls across, but I think I'm already committed to that inside line. My nose is in, so I don't think there's anything in that really between either of us. So said, just slight bit of contact in racing, so we'll get back to the race here. So obviously that gave me the run down the main straight, but we're still right next to each other, so making sure he stays to the outside and I keep the inside for 130R. So we're now right up, one behind the other. So again, try and keep the inside line, slight touch there from him on me, but again, nothing in that at all, just part of racing that I think. So as you see, going down onto the main straight here, coming down towards turn 1. So I think about defending it, I do defend it, and then he sticks to the outside, so I get back to the racing line and keep that position there down into turn 1. But he's still right up behind me, and first place is starting to pull away a little bit with us fighting here. So we'll see if we can maybe work together and pull first place in, or whether we keep fighting for this second place. So trying to get a good exit out the S's here to get a good run. Still right behind me, but not for us to worry about at the moment. Let's try and keep it smooth, which we do through there. So coming down into the hairpin, obviously he's got the slipstream. It's another place where you can get a little run, but I got a good exit. So, and yet right onto the inside at the hairpin and try and get a good exit out the hairpin as well, which I do. But he's still right behind me, but I don't think he's going to go for a move here. I thought he was too far back personally, so half went to defend it and I thought no, he's too far back, so I don't defend it. And as you can see, this is the move he goes for on me, and you see, in my opinion from that, he's not making the apex, but we'll go and have a look at the replays now and see what happened. So I'll just look at it from my point of view first, and as you see here, coming round, decide not to defend it. Great where I usually do, start to turn in, and I don't think his nose is even in there at that point, and he just uses his car to push me wide. And to be honest, if I'd have gone fully off the track, he probably would have got a penalty for that, but he probably gets away with it because I stay on the track. But in his point of view, you see he brakes really late, and as you can see, I don't think he's ever going to make that apex because he hits my car and he's still miles away from the apex there. And you know, I think that's a bit of a naughty move really from the Spaniard, but let's get back to the race. As you can see now, I'm right up behind the back of him here. So I pull out looking at 130R, half tempted to go for a move, but I'm expecting him to cut me off, and he doesn't give me any space at all really there, but that's what I was expecting. So trying to get a good run out the final chicane here, because I think, well, if I can get a good run from this chicane, I got a chance going down into turn 1 to repass him. So we do get a good run out. As you can see, we're right up the back of him here, and as you can see, he chooses not to defend it. So I'm getting in the slipstream, and then I pull out to the inside. So I've got the inside line, I'm alongside him here, and he just turns in and hits me, and there he goes off the track. Don't think there's anything I could do there, don't think I've done anything wrong. So just look at this from my point of view first, and as you see here, get over halfway alongside him, nearly fully level with him there, and he just turns in on me. Don't think there's a lot I can do. Okay, I missed the apex there, but I think part of that is him hitting me unsettles the car a little bit, but check it from his point of view here. And as you see there, he turns in at the usual place, aiming for the apex, which he can't do because there's a car on the inside of him. So to me, he just turns into me like I'm not there, and there's nowhere for me to go, and he hits me. So I don't think I've done anything wrong there at all. To be honest, I said at the start of the video I thought it might be a bit aggressive, but to be honest, I don't think it is. He gives me the inside. If he doesn't want me to go for the move, he should defend it, and he's turned in on me. I don't think I've done anything wrong. I think his move on me was a lot naughtier than my move on him there. So, you know, I don't know what he was upset about, but we'll just continue on with this race here, see whether first makes a mistake, whether we can catch him up, and we need to obviously keep it smooth to stop third closing the gap on us, but hopefully we'll bring this home in second. So coming down into the hairpin, and I brake there just at the end of the curb, try and turn it in and get on the power as quickly as possible on the exit. So then running down into this double left-hander, and again I try and brake just before where the tarmac bit starts on the right hand side here, and try and clip the apex, and then try and sort of brake and throttle control a little bit here to try and clip the second apex, and then try and power out as early as possible and get the slingshot down onto the main back straight. So, and coming down the main back straight here, so coming towards 130 yard, I always try and look for the 50 metre board and turn in just before the 50 metre board and try and clip the inside of the curb and just ease off as you clip the inside and back on the power really quickly. Then through the final chicane here, and we're going to bring this home in second place. So good race overall, I think. I was going to say a good race to the Spanish guy Jose at the end of the race, but he wasn't too happy in the comments. Can't remember what it was he said, but he wasn't too happy, and I personally don't know why, but I'd love to know your guys' opinions on that in the comments below. So if you've enjoyed the video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.